Hey, good morning, folks. Guess where I am? Yep, I'm back in Proton COE in Shah Alam for the test drive of the new, facelifted Proton Iris. So here's another part two of the quick walk down memory lane or trip down memory lane. Does anybody remember this? This was the Proton Juara, which actually came out in 2001. And a little bit of trivia for you, this was the very first Proton to use electronic power steering. Yep, yes it was. It was basically a box with wheels, but it apparently did very well in the outskirts of the Klang Valley, outskirts of Wilayah, in the small towns. Apparently this little fella did quite well there. Short-lived, no real successor, as usual. No, not as usual, I shouldn't say that. It's just that in my previous video I said there were no successors to the Satria GTI and the Putra, which was kind of a shame. And of course we've got the Proton Gen 2. Don't think I need to elaborate much about the Proton Gen 2. How do I put it? Well, to be very honest, it was nice to drive. Unfortunately, it was let down by a lot of rather iffy parts or components that were used to make up this car. And this came out 3 years after the Juara in 2004. But if they've unlocked it, you'll see what I mean. It was just very, very plasticky, and this used to wear very, very quickly. It wasn't a bad car per se, but it was just, the buttons just looked very, very cheap. And although it must have looked really great on paper, the execution of the design, which must have really looked good on paper, was did not come off. I mean, why? That's probably for a start-stop button that never appeared ever. And while the design of the center console again would have looked very nice on paper, it just did not translate well when it was executed. Shame, really, shame. And this is one of the cars that was quite plagued with problems, to be honest. So, moving along, do you remember when Proton made bicycles? Yep. Okay, now these were pretty cool actually. These bicycles, which were not cheap. I think this one cost more than my car. These came out some years ago and they stopped producing them. Ah, the T.D.M.L, yes. Now I remember the name. The Proton T.D.M.L. And it was also here we go. It was a mountain bike. And that was the price. So we've covered most of the cars here, but the other day I forgot to cover what was on the other side. So let's just go take a look at what's on the other side. And there's the Saga. So like I said, we're here at the Proton Center of Excellence. There's of course their latest baby, the X70, and our lovely usherette. Good morning. So over on the other side, I guess I'll walk quickly because I can't seem to pause on this GoPro, are the cars that Proton made famous via motorsports. Now, if you remember in my last Iris video, I mentioned something about the Iris and why the R in Iris is red. And that's because it's very possible that the Iris will have a sportier model coming up soon. So here, these are the Proton Motorsports cars. This was the Satria Neo S2000 left-hand drive, full-on rally car. And Alistair McRae and Bill Hayes piloted it in the FIA Asia Pacific Rally Championship. Very nice. Here's another one of their championship winning cars. One of the unsung heroes, actually, of the Proton range is the Suprema S. And I know a few people who have actually bought one and were very, very happy with it. This is the Preve. Again, full-on race car. Look at that. But there's one very, very, very special car that I'm gonna go to right now. Oh, and of course the Perdana. Somebody was mentioning about the Perdana the other day. I actually had a Perdana, you know. One of the 8 that I owned was actually a Perdana, and it was a very rare and limited edition manual variant. Again, the 2-liter V6 of the Perdana. And the one I had was actually this model. Yep. In fact, it was the same color, but it was SEI. Yeah, there you go, SEI. Except mine was a 5-speed manual rather than a 4-speed auto. This is one of the concepts that, or design studies that was premiered at the CLIMS. Not the last one, but the one before the last one, 5 years ago. The Symphony, based on a Satria Neo, and the Sapphire, based on a Preve. Then of course there was this, the White Knight, also based on a Neo, and it was called Desire. So you can see Proton design. I mean, look at that interior. Can you see that? Of course it's locked. So again, these were just design studies. They were not sold to the public, but it gave the public an idea of what they could do with their Neos and their Preves. Very nice. I love this color. I really do. This matte finished gunmetal gray. Very nice. So, okay, to the car that I was saying, very, very, very special. It's not this one, but it's actually this one. Now, why is this Wajah so special? And I'll let the sticker tell you why. Can you see that? In the year 2000, this car had the Petronas E01 engine. Yeah, so sitting under there is one spectacular engine that was co-developed between Proton and Petronas. And oh, it's unlocked. Goodness me, it is unlocked. Let's see if we can have a look at the engine. Oh, they've removed the tab. I can't. Very clever. They've actually removed the bonnet tab, so I can't open the engine compartment. But yeah, sitting in there is a gem of an engine. I would love to hear this car start up and go. Honestly, I really would. It must make an incredible sound. And then of course everybody remembers this, doesn't it? Don't they? The Wira that was dropped into the North Pole. Yeah, no kidding. Here it is. Contrary to popular belief, no, it didn't get stuck in the North Pole and it's not still there. It's right here. It's back here in Proton COE. It was dropped in 1998. I think they managed to drive it for about 40 feet, if I'm not mistaken, before the non-snow tires gave up the ghost and just said, oh, sorry, not gonna do it. And here we go. One of the very first sagas. And this was driven around Malaysia during Saga Rama 85, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's that's Toon's signature there. Yep, 85, according to the sticker on the windshield. 7th of August 1985. The road tour called Saga Rama. 2 Proton Sagas, 1.5 S's were driven throughout Malaysia to introduce the durability of the car to the nation. Lovely. And those are all the states it went through. You know, you still see these first generation Sagas on the road. That's how hardy they are. And you can pick one up for about 3,000-4,000 ringgit. Very worth it. It's locked, unfortunately, but get to see a bit of the interior. So there you go. Part 2 of the trip down memory lane. Some very notable cars that have been produced by our first national car maker. Some duds. I mean, I won't lie about that. There have been some duds. But some very nice ones. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this part 2. And who knows, there might be a part 3 coming up. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. It helps. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. I mean, of course, I'll try to accommodate. And I will try to reply every single comment, because I value your input and I value your participation. So, until the next one, take care, you guys. Bye.